Actually found a phone that will let me stream in landscape. Woohoo! I'm a couple minutes late, but it's because I did some laundry and took a shower, so I'm a couple minutes late, but I'm here, and what we're going to be working on finishing up today is this. Well, probably not finishing up, but we're going to be working on getting it to a better spot. So I'll give you a minute, see if anybody shows up, and then I'll start yakking. Hi, Gypsy. I'm trying to get my beads out and ready to be worked with, so I won't be grabbing for things while I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to open things while I'm trying to talk. I have a wet head tonight, so I'm going to be trying to work on this as we chit-chat. But I think tonight's just chit-chat, and some of y'all may not enjoy this, but yesterday, after all the mention of all the drama that was going on, I decided to just get out there and see what in the crap was going on. I would have done more, but I was waiting for a specific type of feather to come in. Oh, they're pretty, but they're hairy little boogers. These little marabou feathers. Because I'm going to mix them with some peacock feathers. And you have to order those. You can't, I don't know anybody that has anything to pluck that's that frilly. So I actually got online. I was trying to figure out where all this animosity was coming from in the true crime field, if that's what we want. Is that what we're going to call it? The true, or is it true crama? Is that what we're calling it now? I don't know. Anyway, I honestly really like and respect Lip Lock No More. I really do. I think she's a beautiful woman. I think she's got a beautiful heart. And I think when it comes to the Summer Wells case, she's been very meek and humble and adamant about keeping this young lady's name out there. But what I saw the other day confused the absolute crap out of me. And I was like, wow. There's got to be something bad going on to have created such an unbalanced response from her, because normally she's very consistent. And I thought, well, let's check into this. My hair is so soaking wet. And so I checked into it. I had never heard of this 6up lady. I just, if I'm normally on YouTube, I'm watching documentaries, or I'm watching like antiquing, or I'm watching other, history stuff, or weird, I don't like gravitate toward channels that like have the panels and stuff, mostly because all I've seen from them, oh, these feathers are going to kill me. They're going to be all in my hair in a minute. Mostly because all I see when people go on panels is just an attack fest. It's just like you've gone to a dogfight and turned everybody loose. And it's really unattractive. And so I was really confused when I saw her video the other day. And I was like, this is not consistent with what I've known her to be. So I started looking around and I saw this 6up media. Watched a little bit of one of hers, and basically all it was like people attacking her. And I was like, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. And then I watched another one, and it was basically her being like, what the crap? Why is this do it? Why are people doing this? Why does this have to go this way? And I was like, no, I feel you. I understand. Been there, done that. Got the nasty emails. So I was just kind of thinking, normally when there is an issue and you're trying to figure out why it's become a repetitive issue, you have to look at the common denominator in a lot of the issues. And the common denominator in a lot of the issues, hi Denise, the common denominator in a lot of these issues are specific channels that have a very big dominance with subs and in the true crime community. And hey, more power to you. If you can, if you can get people to watch you, that's fine. But it tends to be less true crime and more, let's jump on every evening and bash the dickens out of everybody because we have nothing better to do. And y'all know I call it like I see it. There's a lot of stuff that people can do to help this Summer Wells issue. I mean, lots. Like, follow Candace and all her different people that have been supporting her and giving her a platform. I'm sure you'll catch something eventually from them that is very eye-opening. Make sure that you're watching any updates on any TBI forums or pages and sharing those updates with everyone else so they know what's going on. Make sure you're checking local news stations every day to see if there's an update. Make sure that you're checking your missing persons in your community, in your county, in your state to look for people that are missing and spread that awareness. There's lots of stuff people can do that are really, really positive things. Anybody's going to do the drinking game where I burn myself with the glue gun, get ready because I'm using the glue gun tonight. But one of the least positive things we can do is to break down this young lady's disappearance into an absolute homemade wrestling match. There is no star when it comes to the channel that is helping this little girl the most. Because y'all, let's get real. It's all volunteer basis. You all are only using information that has already been published, that is already out there, and you're only talking about it. I mean, that's great, but you're just recycling and regurgitating information. So no one should feel like they are the end all be all when it comes to this case. Nobody should feel that they are more important when it comes to this case, that we should all be working together. And what I saw from all these videos is grown women and other adults, but mostly women, which really irritates me. Grown women basically becoming violent, verbally abusive on YouTube. And they're all supposed to be mature. And I thought, what has made them so mad? So I went digging a little bit more. I'd never heard of just the receipts. Well, okay, listen, when you get on this YouTube and you put a video up, that means that anyone, if you make it public, anybody in Jesus can watch it, and anybody in Jesus can have an opinion about it. And they don't have to like you, and they don't have to support you, and they don't have to say nice things about you. Sad to say, that is the world we live in. And if you identify yourself, or you mock identify yourself, or start creating issues by identifying other people, you're opening up a can of worms that you don't want to open up. Because what you give, you will also receive, and it's not pleasant. But I have to say, as far as anything that shouldn't have been posted, just the receipts from I only watched one video where she was going through public records and trying to search out public records. Hey, y'all, it's public records. Y'all can get on there and Google my name. You won't find anything because I ain't got no background. But I mean, it's public records. If you know enough about somebody and you can link enough information about them together, you can find out anything you want to find out. So if you don't want people to find out crap about you, you should probably have an anonymous channel and not show your face. Now, I don't roll that way. I know who I am. I know that I have no background. I'm secure in who I am. And I want you all to actually know me, mostly because I don't intend to aggravate, piss off, or create a vicious cycle with my subs or anyone else that views my videos. But what I saw in all of this was just the receipts showing that she was concerned if there was validity. And one thing that I wanted, if I could have butted into her when she was doing her video and doing the public record search, I would have wanted to have said, you do know that immediately, like when they say they enter the records immediately, it means normally that the clerk in that station, in that court, normally has a 3 to 10 day bracket to enter it, because normally they have dozens of cases and it takes a little while because they're seated by the judge with a computer taking notes during court. And so sometimes they have to enter the bulk of, the meat and potatoes later. And they have, even though it says immediately, they have a time bracket that they're allowed to legally enter information within. So you shouldn't go and think that if they had a court date that morning, immediately that afternoon, there's going to be something in there. That you're going to get lucky if you get something in there same day in any court system across the nation. I'm just going to tell you, I've seen the piles of dockets. I've seen the women that have to enter it all, and I know how much of a headache it is. And it's just not something that occurs very often. They do their job, they do it well, but sometimes it takes a while. Heck, in small county and rural counties, did you know that if people get criminal charges, that sometimes these local DA offices, because they don't want to waste money sending post, they will wait until they have 500 or so judgment orders to send in to sentence management, to send into the state so that it's actually on record. Do you know how many months it takes to get 500 criminal records, criminal convictions in a rural county? It takes a while because the judge only comes through once every 4 to 6 weeks. He normally has a 5 to 6 county circuit. So you can't expect immediate gratification in the court record world. She should have potentially just called the court and asked them rather than do a record search online. It's much easier. It's public record. They would have told her. She would have had a better answer. They would have looked up the docket, pulled the information, because it wouldn't have been in the computer, but they would have gotten the information for her. They store it on a big Rolodex that rolls around like a big Ferris wheel, and they could have pulled the docket, told her what happened, put it up, and then they would have entered it when they had the time in their time frame, which is normally 3 to 10 days. So I would have said, hold up. They just had the court date this morning. Slow your roll. Give people some time. So that's what I would have wanted to have interjected if I could have to her. But then again, I don't watch these channels. So, my wisdom they sometimes miss out on. Did she have every right to do a public record search? Yeah. She had every right to do a public record search. Did she have every right to have a personal opinion about, it wasn't about 6 up. Crap, I should have wrote notes. Ziggy. Did she have every right to have a personal opinion about Ziggy? Yes. Did she have every right to state her personal opinion on YouTube? Yes, as long as she said so appropriately and without inciting violence and without indicating she wanted to do harm. When I first got on this platform, I was appalled at some of the behavior of the people. So I pay attention and I kind of back off and I watch people. I went to 6 Up Media's page, and do I personally agree with everything they're doing? Do I think sometimes maybe they're stirring the pot? Yeah, maybe they're stirring the pot. Sometimes it's good to stir the pot. Sometimes it's not good to stir the pot. But if you're on this forum, somebody's probably going to throw you in the pot eventually. So you might as well just get ready to be stirred. If anybody wants to do a background on me, I don't have time. So if you want to search me out, I don't have time. I mean, it'd be pretty much blank because I have no history anywhere. But if you want to search me out, that's great. So, that's it. I think I've had to have one phone harassment issue with someone in my entire life, and that's it. It's like I am so boring. It's pathetic. Um, but I mean, I just tell you about my life. I don't care. But I watched Six Up Media, and granted, I just flitted around, but I don't see a lot of difference between all of these channels. They all get on and they all talk about other people and they all interject their emotions and opinions and personal bias, and that's their right to do so. So it's just going to happen. What I don't like is when one gets mad at the other. All I've seen for over a year now is this triangulation of aggravation. So if one gets mad, then they get mad at this one, but they then go and get this one on their side, and they create this triangulation of hate and aggravation, and then they just start adding to it, trying to create a war. And I have to sit here and say, what kind of person gets on this platform with the desire to create contempt or animosity in anyone's life? Yeah, I'm y'all know I was over it. I got one taste of it. I was asked to do a panel. It was a relatively new channel. She sounded sweet. I wanted to support her. She wanted to ask psychological questions. I answered psychological questions. People got pissed because somebody came in with knowledge, with professional decorum, and would not jump into the drama. And when I refused to pick sides, I got attacked. And so I went, y'all pack of dogs. I'm leaving. So, and when I retracted my energy, they got mad. Well, why did they get mad? Because without my energy, they can't play their game. And so what I would say to everyone that is having this big moment in this community is don't give them your energy and just don't play their game. Don't go to their channel. If they're not going to show respect for the people that are also trying to do similar channels and do the similar thing, if they can't say, oh, they're just doing what I'm doing. I'm sure some people don't like what I do. I don't have to like what they do, but they have every right to do it. But what really irritated me was that the two women that had the beef lived in opposite states. But one was trying to say that vandalism occurred because of a broken windshield. Well, I have a broken windshield. I know what happened to my windshield. I have no doubt. I sent people to prison for a decade. I know what happened to my windshield. Can I prove it? No. So do I have a claim or a right to file anything? Nope. Should have had my camera on it. That's on me. That was my stupidity. Is there a camera on it now? You bet your sweet bippy. So that's why there is no vandalism charge. You have to have some level of proof to have a vandalism charge. And so I think that's why the only thing that was petitioned for was an order protection. But I know that the judge in that scenario is going to be hard pressed to issue an order protection because they have to show an immediate danger, that they are physically in harm's way, that this person is physically going to hurt them and has showed certain signs that they have the capacity and will to do harm. And that's really hard to show when you've never seen the person, never met the person, they live in another state, and you've only contacted them across this media. My big question is, why do we fear people on this platform that are hundreds of miles away that only respond to what we place on the internet and only know what's public record? Why are people so upset about that? Isn't that how everyone else is getting their information? So why is it a negative when someone else does it? And that is where we get into why it's the crama community instead of the true crime community. That's where the ego surpasses the knowledge, the intention, and basically the heart of the creator. That ego takes a step up and it becomes more important than anything else. And so if I could tell anything to everyone there, it'd be like, back up, because if you have a problem with people on a platform that you've never met, your problem is in here. It's not those people. It's in here. Because I have people on this platform try to create a lot of crap with me. And you want to know something? It didn't fly. You want to know why? Because I said, peace out. Y'all ain't getting my energy. I ain't giving you none of mine. I don't understand you. I don't respect you. I'm not going to be part of this, and I'm not going to participate in your schemes, and I'm not going to play your game. So go on your merry way. And I was fine. Did they attempt to try to goad me? And yeah, that's what people with those intentions do. Where's the lamb sauce? What am I whining about today? I don't know. What do you want me to whine about? Pick a topic. I'm sure I can fill you in. But I mean, if you get on the internet with the intention to go and ask people what they're whining about, what are you doing with your life? Perhaps you have something you need to whine about. Are you upset? Are you entangled up in something emotionally that makes you kind of frustrated and so you lash out on other people? Because I can help you with that if you do. But there's a lot of hate on this forum. There's a lot of hate on this platform. And the last year or so, it's gone super toxic. Super toxic. And it's sucky to see that. Just block that little piece of shit. Adios, butthole. You know, I just don't have time for you. Peace out. I don't give you my energy. I don't want yours. Go suck a big one. Yeah, go ahead and block them. So I just, that's it. I don't play that game. It's that easy. Speak your piece, cut them off, send them on. When you yo-yo with these people, you give them the expectation that you will play their game. And that gives them power and motivation and intention and purpose. And that, in someone that doesn't have good intentions, is a very, very horrible thing. So we have to be careful about what we're doing. And that's why I was so upset to see somebody that I really care about and really admire and respect become so hyper emotional over something that is to be expected on this forum, that is to be expected for people to do when they're treated in a specific manner. I bet you a lot of people do background searches and garner information about a lot of people they come across. I know I do. I don't always make a video about it because I don't believe that's necessary. I just want to know more about certain people. But they have every right to do so if they follow the law. And the only thing that I see breaking the law is the physical or the verbal threats of violence. But even that on this forum, on this platform, is terribly difficult to say is a real tangible threat, especially when people are geographically separated. So I was just really upset to see what was going on. I'm really upset to see a lot of younger creators. I'm really upset to see a lot of younger creators that are coming on here and wanting to do positive things. Y'all, this is just humanity. This is just humanity. I have no idea where these people are coming from, but hi and bye. Hope you got a good glance while you were here. It was a quick one. Humanity has taken a step outside and thinks they need to take everybody to the freaking woodshed. And there's absolutely no reason. Like this person, you blocked my father. Really? You're on YouTube protecting your dad? Get a hobby. Do something healthy. these games people play, they're stupid. They're stupid. You should not get tangled up in them. But I will say, when it comes to these issues in a certain community, look for the common denominator. The person that has their finger in every pie is the person that has the most to gain, the most to lose, and is getting the most from those encounters. So you need to pay attention to the common denominator. And I will have you know that when I first started and I did that first panel, and I had the best of intentions and wanted to have a great educational experience, and I thought it turned out great. The next couple of days, somebody had gotten information, inappropriate medical treatment information about children in state's custody. And I was like, nope, that's illegal. That's criminal. You can't do that. And whoever your leak is should not be doing that. You should not be giving out information. I had about 3 people attack me because they were like, you're talking about me. And I was like, I mentioned no names. I talked about no one. But if you think this applies to you, please learn something and move on. Well, how dare you attack me? I did not attack you. I said no personal names. I said no personal identification. Nothing. But I had a few people go and absolutely drag my name through the mud. And I was like, wow, that's fine, because you loved me yesterday. You've been singing my praises, and in 14 hours you hate me and you're damning me to hell. That is drastic and unstable behavior. Because even though I had to separate myself from that community, I didn't wish anyone horrible. I didn't go and cause anyone's page problems. I didn't go and re-register another account and pop into lives and stalk people like I've been seeing done. I just left it because I honestly did not want to be in it. So I'm just really, I don't know. There's so much that could be done that's positive, and it's not being done. And every time that Ryan does a Summer Wells video, he verbalizes that the crazies come out of the woodwork. Because when he does a video, I mean, if you think it's a load of crap, you can explain why you think it's a load of crap. But until you give me a verification and a justification as to why you think it's a load of crap, then you're just spouting an opinion and you're not joining the conversation and you're not adding anything to the dialogue. And I can't conversate with you. So please give me a specific reason why you think it's a load of crap. Because my master's degree in psychology, my 10 years as an officer supervising murderers and dangerous felons, tells me that I know behavioral patterns and I know that this is unhealthy. So if you have a problem, come here with an educated assumption and share it, or don't come here at all. Because I have a decent group of people here, and I don't appreciate people coming here to jerk a knot in my tail, because you will not be here long. Now, I love conversation and dialogue, but I'm not going to play this little petty game. So if you're coming here to be petty, you will be blocked and you can go away and you can go bother someone else, because that's not the life I live. I have a valid opinion. It is based on an educated background, and I'm going to state it. Then Shane, you relax and show some respect, and I will relax. But until your behavior matches what I want to see, my behavior will tell you how to behave on my channel. Do you understand that? Thank you. So if you don't want to be here, adios, son. But the thing that irritates me is that there is no reason for this one case to have blown this community up. No reason. The one reason this case has blown the community up is because this one case truly made the true crime community a financial asset. It made the true crime community a financial possibility for lots of channels. And I'm not dogging anybody for making a living on the internet. You hustle, you earn your money, you do whatever. But do it legally and do it with good ethical behavior. That's the issue I have, is the ethical behavior. So we've got a lot of people that are doing a lot of negative things. We've got a lot of people that are attacking others when the others are just simply doing what they're doing. And so it's a lot of, I'm going to attack you, but I'm not going to look in the mirror and reflect on what I myself am doing. Bye. I don't want you here. That's fine. My goal is not to gain subscribers. My goal is to gain authentic, valid people that want to be here. So that doesn't bother me at all. So I'm really upset to think that the financial capacity of this case has driven so many people to join in such juvenile behavior and to create such petty responses with adults, because there is so much positive that can be done. Nobody wants to do it. Every person that I've sat here and thought they will not succumb to this, they will hold their head up high, they will not join in this behavior, they eventually join in the behavior. So it's just really frustrating. It's really frustrating. Oh, such as, I mean, my goodness, you all watched what happened, what went down with me and Down Under Crime Talks. And bless her heart, a lot of it was she was pressured by bigger channels, because I went on her panel and did a very great panel. I mean, it was very educational. I was very proud of myself. Wanted to help her young channel, actually help her get to where she had 1,000 so she could stream. She had a very good chat room. They had a very strong bond with each other, and they were working on stuff in the chat with each other. Really good people had formed bonds. They were doing great things. And every time I made a video, somebody would go whisper in her ear that I was talking about her, and she would come and attack me. And I'd be like, I'm talking about a perspective on a point of concern. Like, hey, y'all, I know you're concerned about these kids, but if you try to get information from state workers, it is illegal. It is a felony. You will have a criminal issue. Please be aware of this. Don't do it. It's not polite. And people would be like, she's talking about you. She's talking about you behind my back. And they would feed her, and she would get mad at me. And then I would get these long, just horrible messages. And I would be like, if I was talking to you, I'd have messaged you and said, hey, you shouldn't do that. Did you do that? Well, no, I didn't do that. Then why do you think it's about you? It was just completely irrational and illogical. And I was like, And I looked at her and I said, listen, you're going to need grit to be on this channel. She finally realized that was a misunderstanding. And she apologized. I was like, listen, don't apologize. Just don't do it again. You're going to need grit to be on YouTube. So, honey, hang on to that grit and carry on with your channel, because you're doing good things and your chat is a really great chat room. So just go on. No animosity, no hard feelings, no nothing. It's fine. A couple weeks later, something else in one of my random videos was apparently applied to her. And I'm sitting here going, no matter what I say, this is going to be a pattern. I can't be in this pattern. I can't try to have a voice if someone is always going to think I'm talking about them. I can't be attached or linked with people that are going to play this game. Because when I'm saying you, and I'm talking about you, that understood everyone out there in the world that's watching this. I'm not talking about anyone specific. And I do that a lot when I'm trying to do some educational videos, or I'm trying to talk about state law. I use that understood you at the beginning of sentences. And so I had to detach from all of that. And the thing that bothered me the most was that when I detached, she became even more upset, because she needed me in that position, because she was somebody else's whipping post and I was supposed to be hers. And that's how this true crama crap is set up. It's a tier. And so everybody's got their whipping post. Everybody's got their whipping boy. Everybody's got the person that they like to lay the blame on and chastise and take their emotions out on. And that is so unhealthy and so unnecessary and so stupid. Because if you're visiting a page that makes you angry, don't go there. It's like if you walk into the wall and break your nose, you learn not to walk into the wall. It's painful. So why are these people not learning the same lesson on this platform? Money, money, money. Money. Money, ego. You're right. Money, ego, all those things where they feel terribly important. I've never wanted a huge subscriber list. When Ryan shares my videos, I go quiet for a while because I'm like, oh crap. Please do not flood me. Because that's when a lot of people come in and I just don't enjoy that. I'll take care of it, but I don't enjoy it. So I kind of, y'all have seen me every time Ryan tries to share something or shares my videos or I'm like, we just let it calm down for a minute, because I don't want to have a huge subscriber list. I want to have a good subscriber list to where we come together for the right reasons and we handle the right things and we don't become a clique and hurt people. And so that's my hope, is that the people that come here, when they go other places, they look at the dynamic, and if it's unhealthy, they don't join in on the unhealthy behavior, because that does not benefit anyone. It doesn't benefit anyone. And me having this very neutral, compassionate, treat everybody great, don't give your energy to horrible people, and if someone's hurting you, simply back away and walk the other way and don't go there and allow them to hurt you again. There are going to be people take offense. There's already been people here take offense. And when what I'm saying is grounded in logic and reason. And if you were to go to therapy, your therapist would say the same thing. Hello, it's what I did. But people become upset when you tell them how simple the answer is, because they really want things to be complicated. Because if they're complicated, then they have an out. They have a blame game. They can say, well, it was just too difficult. She kept dragging me back in. Listen, I'm a fat girl. If you keep dragging me back in, you better have some muscle. I know very well how to walk the other way. So, this whole thing of she kept dragging me back in, or they kept dragging me back in, or I could not stand up for myself. You can't reason or rationalize with people that are in that state. So there's no justification to enter into any kind of debate or argument or pissing contest, because it's not a game, and it's not a fight, and it can't be won, and no one's going to benefit. It's just going to breed more toxicity and negativity and animosity. So I wish everybody would just kind of chill out and be like, oh yeah, our motive was to keep this little girl's name alive and to keep people remembering her, and to keep the conversation about her going. It's not about having these high school squabbles on a forum. I feel bad because there are a lot of young kids that get on this platform, and the behavior that they see role modeled from adults is very poor. Very poor. And they don't have a lot of home supervision, so they get babysat by these TVs and telephones and iPads, and they get to roam on this platform just willy-nilly. And 98% of probably what they see is very negative. It's very inappropriate. It's very devastating behavior if you're young and you're learning how to blend in and maneuver through society. And we're only like, I think about, wow, there's a lot of young people that watch these behaviors, and we are creating the next generation, and we don't even recognize that. If we did, perhaps people would behave differently, or perhaps they wouldn't. And that's kind of what, when I watch people's channels, that's kind of how I gauge people. Is, okay, are you someone that just kind of keeps aware that there could be children popping through? And even though you can have content that discusses difficult things, it can be done in a manner that is done respectfully and tastefully, and without the adults entanglement of emotions and all that I've seen go on. So that's just kind of where I am. I don't enjoy trolls, as you all can see. I don't mind to get sharp and sassy. It's not my favorite place to be, but I don't mind to state my piece and give a boundary and then cut them loose and go on, because I don't enjoy that. But sadly, there are people that do enjoy that. And you just have to be aware when you go and you visit these places and you visit these channels and you see these people's behavior, you just have to be aware that there are people that feed off of that and enjoy that and thrive off of it, to be quite honest. It's very sad. And you just have to be careful. And for me, I sit back, and the reason I removed myself from that was because I knew that if I attempted to rectify the situation, try to talk them through it, or try to save my name out of their horrible mouths, all it was going to do was fuel the fire. And the best thing I could do was just simply walk away and allow anybody to have any idea that they wanted. And if they didn't have the generosity to come here and watch a few videos and get to know me personally, I don't really care about what they think about me. So perhaps I'm a very laid back person. I mean, like, really, until you bring a problem to my front door, it's probably really not a problem. I'm just kind of one of those people. But I'm really kind of sad to have seen what I've seen in the community. And I hope, like I've said for 8 or 10 months now, I hope it self-corrects. But at this point, might as well be pissing in the wind. I sound really eloquent for like 10 minutes when I say something like that. But I try to understand what was going on, because I saw someone that I was truly concerned about. And even though I can diagram what occurred, I can sit here and tell you that there's no justification on any side for the behavior. Any side. So nobody's in the right, everybody's in the wrong. Because they're enjoying this entanglement. If someone truly was not enjoying it, then I would say, okay. If someone was backing away and saying, I don't want part of this, I would say, okay. But everyone's still coming to the dinner plate, fighting over the victuals, and enjoying it. So everybody's in the wrong, if you ask me. But it's not helping anybody. So I just hope everybody understands that and looks at it a little bit better, a little bit more in depth. But what I'm fixing to do now is I'm fixing to I added a, lost my words, a little like pendant here, and I'm going to hang some of these feathers. Now, these are the prettiest feathers, but they are the hairiest feathers, so I have to shake them for a while so that all the hairs will stay at my house and not go to anyone else's house. But I'm using marabou feathers. Yeah, keep your energy for you. It's like, you know, that crap's important. It's precious. Keep your energy for you. It's like I tell y'all, research everything, be cynical and leery of everyone, and don't believe anybody, even me. Even if I tell you something and I give you like bullet points and references and citations, go look it up. Don't trust anyone, even me. Don't trust anybody. There's something to be said about doing your own research and making up your own mind. I think everybody should do that. But I'm using these marabou feathers, and they're going to be paired with some peacock feathers. So they're going to be a really pretty combination. I'm going to sneeze and choke on these all night. These are things that I cannot get picked up at the ornamental fowl farm where I get a lot of my feathers. So I had to order these. And they're beautiful. But don't worry, I will shake them all out of my house so that hopefully they will not shake out at yours. But they have such a dainty, feminine feel. I really like them. And this is what I envisioned when I was putting this together, so it's what I went after. So I'm happy I found them. Sometimes they're very hard to find. And I'm going to be hanging leather straps and with some beads and hanging some feathers. And then I'm going to be doing a little bit more decorating and probably adding a little bit more of the willow to give it some volume. But I'm tickled with what it looks like right now. I was frustrated because it was not the shape I wanted it to be, but once I understood what was going on and kind of gave up trying to force what was not for me to force, I realized that it was probably exactly what it needed to be, and I just needed to shut up and let the universe give me a hint. So I shut up and let the universe give me a hint. So that's kind of where I am with this. I don't like very much on it, but when I work on these, I like to be in the right intention, in the right frame of mind, and I like to kind of have the right energy. That's why I waited till after I had to give my spew to start working. I do have beaver claws, and I'm going to be doing an epoxy resin and doing some beaver claw earrings. I hope they turn out. In my brain, it's going to work, but that's my brain. And we all know what kind of land that is at times. So it may not work, but I'm hoping it works. And I'm hoping they turn out good and that they're cute. I do have some beaver teeth in, and I do have them being cleaned, being peroxided right now. I have got to make sure that I find two pretty close in size before I venture out with those earrings. And right now I've not found two the perfect size, and I've got to go through some other stuff to find. Y'all, I've got skulls that are all over my house, so I've got to kind of walk through my house and take a consensus so I can find another tooth that matches the size of the ones that I have. But that's what I really want to make, is those beaver teeth earrings. I'm really excited about those because they're going to be kind of strange, weird, and that seems to be a very big thing on Etsy. David's excited about that. He has not felt well this week with this rain and weather that's come through and his allergies, and it's just a bad season for him. But he's been working on tanning a couple of things. Sadly, with the loss of our game warden, he's had to put stuff that needs tags, like bobcats and stuff. He's had to put them farther back in the freezer and work on the things that he can tan that do not require tags until they get a replacement or know that who they're going to send up here to tag the furs that we need tagged. Because our game warden that passed away the other day was literally at my house every other week to apply tags to stuff. So if you see those, I know Denise has one, that yellow tag in that bobcat. You can remove that now since you're the owner, but the person that trapped it and tanned it could not. So it had to leave my house to you with that tag, but you can remove it. We just couldn't. So it doesn't have to stay there, FYI. So I think I told you that in a letter, but you can remove that yellow tag. So my leather is not working with me here, but that's kind of, I had seen so many people disgruntled about what was going on. I was just trying to understand what was going on, and that was my take on understanding it. Okay, if you'll just let her know that she doesn't have to leave that ugly yellow clip on there, she can take that off. It's just for identification purpose for the trapper until it leaves the trapper's hands. It just states that it was registered as trapped with the state. So, and she may want to keep it so she can authenticate it. It doesn't matter to me. I didn't like looking at it. Of course, I have to stare at them all the time, so I get kind of irritated with them. So I get sick of looking at them. They're on everything I handle. So right now I'm just adding some beadwork to these little dainty feathers, and then I'll have to straighten the leather and stretch it overnight and apply it. I don't know how many feathers I'm going to do. I just do it till it feels right. And I'm going to be gluing some bling onto the weaving itself. And I hope she doesn't freak out at the little jaw that I put on there, but I'm going to put in the letter and explain what all the points are, what they all mean and what it means for her, so that she understands why it's there. I just don't want her to freak out and be like, I don't like this thing. I think if she understands the meaning behind it, she will, I don't know, have a better concept of why I put it there. So I'm going to explain everything in detail with a letter that goes with it. And anything that I make that is native, that is going to have a background in my weird bloodline, I always try to explain it. Oh, good. I'm glad. Does she like that? I know a lot of people have never seen a beaver jaw, and they don't know how, like, the teeth actually go all the way back in there, you know, and we have to glue them in so they won't come out. And people don't know how ginormous they are. And so a lot of people that get our beaver jaw keychains are really like, wow, I had no idea. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty neat, isn't it? We've had a lot of really good feedback. We've had good feedback on everything we've sold so far. I'm really tickled about that. You know, I think girls that are strong enough to kind of enjoy stuff like that, you know, it's great. And it definitely makes young men look at them with a little bit more respect, I believe. My daughter is 120 pounds soaking wet, but she's a fierce little thing. And when she comes home, she'll go right out to the fur shed and help with the tanning and stuff like that. She doesn't care at all. She'll just jump right in. And a lot of people are like, how did you train her to do that? And I'm like, I didn't train her. She just grew up knowing that was something that she could join in if she wanted to. She chose to, and I didn't stop her. It's not like I said, you must go out there and learn how to tan pelts. These feathers are going to drive me nuts. Yeah, they're handy, aren't they? They're very handy, and a lot of people don't think about that either. There's a lot of restrictions about what you can and can't carry, and sometimes young women have to get creative to be safe. Just saying. It doesn't hurt to be creative and safe. So I've got some of these smallest, prettiest, daintiest little beads here, and I'm just going to add them for a little bit of bling. Probably won't even be able to see it until you get up on it, but those are those little things that I like to add so that when people get this stuff, they're like, wow, they thought about this from far away and close up. I want them to know that I really, really wanted this to mean something. So I enjoy working on these things. I enjoy having good days to work on them. I enjoy sending good energy out to people. And I think I'm not tender. Like, I don't get on here and be like, oh, I'm so sad and upset that I saw people misbehaving on YouTube. I'm not that tender. I've supervised murderers, and I understand the world. I just genuinely believe if we don't start voicing our disdain with this bad behavior that we're seeing in society, it is never going to stop. And if you can't talk about it, you can't stop it. You can't change it. What is that one? I forget who said it. It's your world ends where your vocabulary ends. It's very true. It's very true. If you can't talk about it, what power do you have? And when I see people really trying to stifle, scare, or augment others' ability to communicate and say what they need to say, I just get really upset with society because I'm like, that's not necessary. This is not the way we're supposed to go. This is not the way we're supposed to be. We're herd animals. We are supposed to rely on each other. We are supposed to need each other. There should be a pull toward each other. And it should not be a negative one. And I just fear that the negative has overwhelmed any sense of positive that had been occurring in the world. And I believe a lot of the negative that's going on is the reason we're seeing a lot of the things in the world we're seeing today. It's because we've allowed it, we've justified it, we've normalized it, and we've said, sure, you can behave that way, no problem. We'll make an allowance for you. And, that's just not necessary. It's just not necessary. But everybody thinks that any behavior they desire to have, they should be allowed to have. No, any emotion you want to have, you should be allowed to have. But a behavior is taking action on that. And sometimes action on emotions is a very wrong thing. Just ask people that spent 20 years in prison over one bad decision. One bad decision. So, and that's why if I ever say, if people are trying to make you or force you into an emotion or force you to respond emotionally, back away. Back away. Because they have an idea that they're going to be able to control you with that emotion. Back away and think about it. Now, that doesn't mean if you have a joyful inclination that you should back away from that. Joyful inclinations are normally about spot on. But if you have a hesitancy or you have a concern about somebody wanting you to behave in a specific way, absolutely back away and think about it. And question their motive. Somebody that truly cares about you or has an idea about how to treat people will not become upset if you question their motive. They will be like, oh, you're a rational, logical person. You question my motive. Yes, please let me explain myself to you and let us start to know each other better so that we can form a friendship. Question motives. So what I'm doing now is adding these tiny or little beads. Some of them are truly microscopic. Like if I was to hold this up, you probably couldn't see them. But they're these tiny, if you can see them, they're tiny. I mean, some of them are so small you can't see them there. Tiny little beads. And I'm going to start sprinkling them out across the whole thing so that when this does catch light, it will shimmer and shine. It will kind of look like sequins on it. I want it to have a feminine, soft touch, but I don't want it to lose its native flair. I don't want it to lose its function, just to be pretty. So I want the function to still remain there, and I want them to know why this is made the way it's made. But I do want it to be something that they enjoy looking at, because when they look at it, it will prompt thought, and that will be a positive thing. So that's why I'm doing all these little tiny things. And it tells the people that get these that I took time and I cared. And especially when they get the letter explaining all the little things, it really does kind of hit them that somebody took a lot of time and cared about what they were going through. So what I'm going to be doing for the next hour or so is adding beads, stretching leather, adding feathers. The main colors that I was going with are the colors, Denise, that were desired. So I'm spot on there. I thought that was great. But I really want her to enjoy this. And I want her to really understand everything behind it and really get a lot of meaning from it. So if she gets it and she has questions, and she gets it and she's like, oh, I like this, but I would have wanted more of this. Let me know, and I'll send some. Like if she wants more beads or she wants more feathers, let me know, and I'll send some. She can stick them on. I'm completely here for anybody that has any of my artwork. They need to make an augmentation. Go for it. I support it. It's yours. And I should have plenty of beads left in case she wants a few extra. Matter of fact, I may send some in a baggie just in case any get knocked in shipping. That way she will have replacements. So, because some of these can be quite delicate. Oh yeah, I'm all over that. We've covered that one. We've covered that one extensively. So I'm all over that. Um, it's kind of funny because I had a lot of a vibe, and you kind of start, I want to start making these things, but I want to wait for information. But I kind of start kind of setting a vibe out there, kind of asking the universe to kind of help me go ahead and start, feeling what I need to do. And so the vibe I was getting was very much what you shared, and even apparently a little bit more than we thought. Because yeah, I had the same feelings that something like that may have been going on internally. So I'll be doing a lot of that as well. But she will get a very detailed letter. And you let her know if she ever has any questions or concerns. She can always email me, or if she needs to call me, she can always call me. It's nice to know who made it for you sometimes, because that means a lot. And that's why I only make one at a time, because you don't want to be thinking about multiple people when you're making these things, because you don't want to screw something up. So that's why I do one at a time. And I've been a little slow on this one. Of course, I was waiting for my feathers to come in, but I've been a little slow on this one because I've not felt the greatest, and I want to be in a positive place when I put these together, and be in a more of a gentle spirit place, I guess, as opposed to positive. Just be in a gentle place where I'm thinking good, positive thoughts, and being able to think about this. And I think about it at night when I lay down. I think about the intent and try to think, is there anything I need to change to help that intention show more? So basically, a lot of what I'm doing for her is going to say, with this is, I'm making something that some people might say is ugly. I'm making it pretty. And sometimes we deal with stuff in life that we think is ugly. But if we choose to understand it, we can find the pretty. And there may be something behind what she's going through that is going to aid her later in life. This may be a training ground, an awareness, an awakening for her to handle something that may come at her later in life. So it may feel like a negative right now. It may feel ugly, but it could potentially end up being a positive if we use the information in the right way. So that's another way to think about these things as well. I used to have horrible dreams. I was super sensitive as a child. It took me a long time to understand what an empath truly was, and how to control it, and how to block people, and how to really put up a hedge of protection against certain behaviors and certain personalities. It took me a really long time. And my son is very much the same way. If you see my son, I think that's why he does so much hands-on outdoor work, is he has to be grounded. And he has to have that natural contact. And if he doesn't, he does not feel right. And he's very much, even though he doesn't like to talk about it, and he doesn't like to get all, you know, sentimental, but he has the same very delicate system that I do, I believe. And that's why when I sent the email the other day with pictures, he was like, that's stress, but okay. He's like, I'm gonna have to do this absolutely right. He's like, I've got to think about it more now. I've got to put more into it. I've got to plan more. And I was like, I know. I was like, but you can do it. And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I just want to do it right. So he's very dedicated to his work, but he knows that these things, he's seen me make stuff for people. So he knows that the stuff that is made for people means something. And so he wants his art to also mean something. And he wants them to know that he put his best into it. So he is very motivated for your statue, and it's kind of sweet to watch him because he's like, that's going to be the most important one I've done. He's like, I can't believe that she asked me to do that. And I said, people see your good nature and the good energy you put into what you do. And he's a sweet, he's like me. He don't care to put down a boundary, and he'll get sassy if he needs to, but he's not mean. There's not a mean bone in his body. But he will certainly take care of his family. Look at that. Okay. I was going to do a fox. Okay. I was going to do a fox jaw. I think I'd mentioned a fox jaw. And then I had this thought. A fox will eat bugs. A fox is playful. A fox is easily adaptable. But a fox has a very kind of almost like a very coy nature sometimes, and they can sometimes be a comedian when they need to be serious. If you've ever seen a den of fox play on the hillside, you will understand that. Some of them act plumb stupid, and you wonder, how are you going to make it in the wild? We used to have a den over the hill, and bless their hearts. So I went out and I got a bobcat jaw, because a bobcat is also, it eats everything. So bugs, everything included. But a bobcat is finicky about where they go, who they trust, what they do, where they spend their time. And when they bond deeply with, whoever, most of them, when they mate, they are very serious partners in life. And when they create their families, they're very big protectors, but they very much got that feline capacity of, I am my own person. You cannot sway me. And I do my own thing. And even though they're small, they're very mighty and ferocious. And I thought, no, she needs a bobcat, because I don't want her to have any of the jokester of the fox coming through. So I picked a bobcat jaw for her for that reason alone. And I'll put that in the letter for her as well. But that's why I picked the bobcat jaw. So that explains it to you. But I also gave her a silver charm. Silver and turquoise are very precious metals, but very precious colors, what we'll say. But I gave her a little silver arrow, basically for navigation, finding her way, making sure she knows where she's going in life, making sure that all behaviors and actions have a purpose and a meaning and a path. So I'm trying to do this justice, and I'm trying to make it feminine, but not downplay the native side of it, because the native side of it is very, very important. And it's going to have a lot more braided willow around it. I'm going to bulk up the willow because I'm using red willow, and red willow is basically the heart power. It's like the heartstring. So I'm going to add more red willow to it and bulk up the outside of it. So basically it has more heart power to it. So that's a lot of the meaning behind what I've got going on right now. And so I'm going to be working on this probably for the next couple hours, but I'm fixing to have to hop off here because I'm going to be doing some very detailed stuff where I'm not going to be able to talk. But I wanted to say my piece after I went and tried to understand. I really tried to understand what was going on. And that is my perspective of the crap that's going on. Is it the right one? I don't know. There's probably dozens of right ones. There's probably hundreds of right ways to view what's going on because it's a pretty big ordeal and has a lot to it. And so there's probably a lot of other people that have very valid viewpoints as well. That's mine. I shared it. And I just hope people gravitate toward more positive things in the future. Because if we don't, we're screwed. I mean, we're pretty foobarred at the moment, just to be honest. But if we don't, we're screwed. So, and I've also, while I'm feeling good, I've also got to do a quick video to upload to try to find Ryan. Because I know he gets 5,000 Instagram messages a day and I get buried in the onslaught. But I want to try to get, since I'm feeling better right now, I want to try to get that interview done if he has time. The boy's busy and the boy's happy, and if he doesn't have time, I'm okay with that. But I know that when he gets time, he will touch back and base with me. He's very sweet and very considerate when it comes to me. I don't know why, but I appreciate it. Bless his heart. So I'm going to try to get a video out to kind of go, hey, Ron, and tag him and see what he wants to do about that so he knows to message me and maybe get that done ASAP. But I probably, what is tomorrow? I probably will not be on here tomorrow. I probably will do a live Friday. And hopefully David will not have to work this weekend. They're trying to train other people in so he doesn't have to work every weekend. So I'm hoping that David will have some new stuff. He's your next friend. He does. I do love people that just follow their own path, you know. And he kind of, you know, and I like that, you know, he can be a booger. I like that he stands up for himself. And I like that he has that, he's not afraid to speak up, but I also like that he has those calmer, more reflective moments, like when he's doing his art and stuff. I like the complexity of his person. And I like that he's not too proud to come back online and be like, well, I screwed that up, or I shouldn't have done that, or, you know. So I like that about him as well. Do I agree with everything he does? No, I'm never going to find anyone that I agree 100% with. And I'm sure that I tick people off daily as well. It's just, you know, kind of what happens. I just hope that somewhere along this YouTube page, I've taught people how to respond, have better expectations, set realistic expectations and goals for people and others and themselves, and to communicate a little bit more effectively, even when they're struggling. And I don't care to show y'all when I'm struggling. It's life. It happens. And it gets frustrating at times, but, you know, we're human. We have to have these experiences, but we should be growing. And I'm concerned because I'm not seeing a lot of growth lately, and that terrifies me. But maybe the world will change. You never know. So, but I'm going to work on this for a while. I'm going to do that quick video, and then I'm going to upload it, and then I'm going to work on this for a while. And I'm hoping to finish it tomorrow. If I do get it finished tomorrow, then I will contact you via email, and we can arrange shipping or whatever. Or if you have another one and you want me to make another one and send them at the same time so that you can save on shipping, I'm okay with that as well. So we'll just, when I get done, I'll yell at you and we'll hash that out when we get done. I'm okay with hanging it here if you want me to make another and ship them together to save money. Not a problem. So it's not a problem at all. So I'm going to do the intricate feather work because I'm fixing to choke on about 5,000 of these. And then I'm going to go to bed. But thank you for spending the evening with me. And I know Gypsy was on here for quite a while too. And hopefully as I'm getting more consistent since my health is better, maybe we'll get our numbers back up. But it's okay if we don't. As long as we've got quality people here, I'm cool with that. So I really appreciate everybody that spends time with me. So, well, and I think that's it. I'm going to go and finish these. And I'll see you all most likely Friday. So thanks for spending time with me. And Denise, I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Night, y'all.